Hello and welcome, all of you, to the first day of this motivational online camp in chemistry for the XI beginners. You will be joining in a hectic 2 years program in different places of the state and including also in Cuttack. Those who have joined from Cuttack will be joining in some coaching centers and learning in a sustained, continuous manner so that you'll be achieving your target, your goal of becoming either a doctor or an engineer or maybe a scientist or maybe a biochemist or microbiologist, whatever will be your desire, you can achieve that, and that your time starts now. Time has already started the day following your board examination. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You are
Welcome,
audible.
Yes, sir.
Riddhi Siddhi.
Yes,
Welcome,
sir.
Rusikesh. Don't open your microphone. Let me check. Welcome, Adhyasa, Amlan. Amlan, you told you'll be going to school, but you managed to stay back and watching now. But don't watch like a movie. You have a pen and paper in your hand, so that we'll be doing something meaningful business in the coming 1.5 hours or maybe 2 hours. Aratrika, our old uranium awardee, Gautam Sahu. Gautam Sahu is class 10 pass. I'm sorry. I'm not talking of Gautam. I'm talking of, where is he? He is absent. Aratrika, tamaro bro kuade gale?
Sir, tera exam ଅଛି school
Okay,
ରେ.
okay, good, good. Se pachare dekhidaabo, kichi kotha nahi. Hrishikesh, Lipsita, Pulak, Ranika, Riddhi Siddhi, Romya, Sanvi, Satyajit, Swastik, Bhuya, and Tanusri Pradhan. Okay, let me share my screen now. Just give me a minute. Be ready with your pen and paper. Riddhi Siddhi, are you using two copies or one copy? Two copies. Yes, two copies. Oh, okay. When I start teaching you, starting something, discussing something, don't open your microphone. But you can raise your hand with a yellow sign. Raise your hand symbol. You can show me. I can just see that someone is raising her hand or his hand to ask me something. Then I will tell the name. I will take the name of that person, and then you will ask your question. Before that, and also if my voice is not audible, then also you raise your hand. Zoom hand, not sound hand. And then I will definitely want to know what has happened, why she or he is raising her hand or his hand. Then I will fix it up. Let me share my screen. Are you able to see? Are you able to see my screen? Okay, you can see my screen very well. Now, let us start. Let me see the participant list. So, for those who already have joined from uranium platform several times, it will be easy for them when I will revise something, they will catch it immediately. But those who have joined fresh without joining my previous camps in class 9, class 10, so many online camps, the uranium awardees like Satyajit Panda, Aratrika and others, they have Tanusri, they have attended. So, doesn't matter. Let me tell you that I will be having a doubts clear program for every day's class, only doubts clear program in every evening. For example, today, whatever we do, if some of you have some doubts in catching things, you have to first read the study materials that I will send after the class. I will send some files, PDF files for you to browse through, to look into it. Then after doing everything, and also you solve some of the exercises, some of the practice questions that I will give, you solve them. And after that, whatever doubts you have, even in understanding or whatever, you can join me at 8 o'clock. I will send you another link before 5 minutes. If you are not free by 8 o'clock, I can postpone to 8:30 or even 9. But 8 is a very good time for you. But some of you might be having some other assignments. 8 will be too early for you. Then you can suggest me in your group to make it 8:30 or max 9. So that every day's doubts will be cleared on the same day and you are ready for the next session. Let's start. Now, let me revise formula writing. So, how much prompt you are, and I'm sure many of you are very, very deficient in writing formula. Supposing I'll ask you to write the formula potassium ferrocyanide. Write down and raise your hands. This is all the revision that we are doing for those who are old timers, and for the newcomers, it will be a practice journey. So what is the formula of potassium ferrocyanide? Satyajit has answered.
Sir, K for efficiency.
I said Satyajit has answered. It is K is valency 1 plus, and ferrocyanide, Riddhi Siddhi, is a very big negative ion. Is a very, very big negative ion. That negative ion contains both metal and non-metals. 1 Fe and 6 cyanide ions. They together, they constitute a very bulky, very hefty, fatty anion, negative ion, or as we call acid radical, and its valency is 4-. So as you know, writing formula, you have to cross over the respective valencies as subscript, so that the formula is K4 and 1 is not written. But you know, some of you definitely know that this type of bulky, very hefty negative ions, they are called complex ions. So the square bracket will not be deleted, even if it is 1 and 1 is not written. But still, I advise you not to delete this square bracket, because there is another parenthesis where you write 6, indicating that 1 iron atom is there and 6 cyanide radicals are there, and that constitute a very big negative ion that is called ferrocyanide. So potassium ferrocyanide formula is K4FeCN6. And can you convert this into ions? How many ions of which type? Supposing I give you one formula unit and I ask you to show me how many positive ions and how many negative ions. Raise your hands. Some of you have joined fresh. So I'm recording, and today somehow I could not make a live streaming because I was in a loss of my familiarity with YouTube live streaming. Maybe for 1 year, I was out of India for 6 months, and after that 2 months have passed. So it failed today, but tomorrow I will fix it up. But I am recording this program, and just after the class is over at 8 o'clock, I will be putting in the YouTube and give you the link. So nothing to worry. So who have done how many positive ions and how many negative ions? Only Satyajit. Potassium ferrocyanide, Sanvi, you have written. I must ensure that you have written. I'm sure the uranium awardees, they will find little difficulty in the revision. So how many potassium ions? If the subscript is 4, then there are 4 potassium ions. And what is the charge? Because the valency was 1+, so charge is also 1+. So 1+ or 1- is written simply as plus or minus. Plus, how many ferrocyanide ion? 1. 1 is not written, but 1. So you write FeCN6. And what is its charge? Because it is an ion. Its valency was 4-, so the charge is 4-. So this is the breakup of one formula unit of potassium ferrocyanide. In aqueous solution in water, it will form 4 potassium ions and 1 very bulky ferrocyanide ion. Nowadays, I am just observing for the last several years, because maybe of the junk food, that had the culture of junk food has come up so very aggressively, that our children, grandchildren, they are eating more of those food, junk food, and accumulating fat even in the school stage. And many of you, I wish I am wrong, might have gained more weight than what your BMI, body mass index, demands. Those who are underweight, like Ridhi Siddhi, doesn't matter. You will get back your BMI when you grow up. But those who are overweight, by chance, they have to struggle little more to reduce their weights. It's possible. It's possible. Oh, so why I was saying about the BMI, because this is a very bulky ion, and this ion has a charge 4 minus, so that the total positive charge 4 ones are 4, and one bulky anion has charge 4 minus, so it is a neutral substance. The total positive charge is equal to total negative charge. So let me give you another formula writing, because I will be revising at the same time. I will be going deep into the fundamental aspects, which will help you to develop confidence in chemistry. Wherever you learn, you will learn with absolute confidence. Ammonium dichromate. Write down the formula, and also you split them into positive and negative ions from one formula unit of ammonium dichromate. So you can keep your video must be kept off. It's not required at all, because I am integrating myself with all of you, starting from Tanusri, Sanvi, Amlan, Ranika, to the smartest so far, Satyajit Panda from Berhampur. So who have completed writing? Gautam Sahu, Husikesh, Aratrika. Ammonium dichromate. First you write the formula. Ammonium is NH4 and its valency charge is 1 plus. Ammonium is NH4. Ammonia is NH3. It's a gas. It's a neutral molecule. But NH4 is a radical, an ion, 1 plus, and dichromate is Cr2O7 and it is 2 minus. So there is a crossover. 2 will come here, 1 will be here, but it is not written. So it is NH4 whole 2, and this parenthesis is not required. Unlike this type of complex ion, you will know in in class 11, 12, that these are called complex ions containing a metal and some non-metals. So these complex ions are to be put always inside a square bracket. But when the subscript is 1 for a particular radical, then the parenthesis will be removed. So the formula of ammonium dichromate is NH4 whole 2 Cr2O7. Now, I have asked you to split them into ions. The positive ion is NH4. Samya. प्रणाम. ना यूट्यूब रे कोन टिके प्रॉब्लम हैला लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग हे पारुनी मु बर्तन रिकॉर्डिंग ताको करूची मु जस्ट 8टा परे परे मु ताको अपलोड कर देबी आ तुमे स्कूल रे अछ ना कोठी घरे अछ ताले त जॉइन कर जाऊ ना मो ये रे कोन जूम लिंक रे जॉइन कर जाऊ ना क्लास चलची. हाँ तबे तो घर अच्छ आराम रे चा कॉफी पान सिगरेट ओ सॉरी ये गोटा खराब कथा तो कौन टे खाई करी जॉइन कर जाओ जस्ट आरंभ होईची हैला. Now Riddhi Siddhi, tell me how many ammonium ions you open. Whenever I am asking someone, you open. I have given you that power to unmute yourself. Riddhi Siddhi, how many ammonium ions?
Sir, 2 ammonium ions?
Yes, yes. And how many dichromate ion?
Sir, 1.
One is not written. So although this is a bulky ion, but still we don't put a square bracket. You might be wondering, why did we keep this under a square bracket but not this, which is also equally bulky? We will know later in our class 12 program. These are called complex ions, but these are not the complex ions. We'll know later. So there will be no square bracket, even if it is as bulky as the other one, ferrocyanide. And I have forgotten to write +1. So simply you can write plus. So the whole ion NH4 enjoys charge +1. Not the charges over hydrogen. So you will be knowing, well, you study chemical bond, you will know where the charge resides, whether it stays on the head of nitrogen or hydrogen. That will be known to you later on when you study chemical bond. But now you do not put a parenthesis. Simply +1 means the entire positive ion has a charge equal to +1. Now with this, I would like you to enter into another concept, oxidation number, which you guys, I mean the uranium guys, they know. But for so long, you have been only harping on your board examination. So let us refresh our knowledge about oxidation number. And for you, those who are new to my classes, have to write down. Others, uranium, nowadays, you did not have to write anything, because you know, oxidation number is also called oxidation state or OS. So it is the theoretical charge. You just write down, not all, because you have written. Those who have not written, then you write now. It is the theoretical charge which an atom acquires when all the bonds are broken so that the bond pairs of electrons are transferred to the more electronegative atom. In case the atoms are same, then each gets back its own electron. This, concept of oxidation number was really developed for covalent molecules, covalent ions, to study the theoretical charge that an atom, just carefully try to remember these words. An atom, a single atom that acquires when all the bonds are broken in a manner that the bond pairs of electrons are transferred to the more electronegative atom. And in case the atoms are same, for example, bond like chlorine, to give Cl2 molecule, hydrogen, nitrogen, nitrogen. When the atoms are same, but there is a covalent bond between them, then the bond breaks in a different way. Each gets back its own electron. Unlike the case where the two atoms are not same, they are of different electronegativities. In this case, there will be a very, very simple kind of bond break. For example, you have ammonia. This is the bond structure of ammonia. These are the three covalent bonds. Forget about a lone pair is there. We don't bother about the lone pairs. We are interested in the bond pairs. And you know, every bond, normal kind of covalent bond, it's not, I'm not talking of a dative bond. So one electron is of nitrogen, the other is of hydrogen. Same here. Same here. So these are the three covalent bonds that constitute ammonia. Now you imagine, just imagine that if all the bonds are broken, in a fine morning, they quarrel with each other, these four atoms, they quarrel with each other, and they say, let us be separated. Let's all our bonds be broken. What is the basis of breaking? Might is right. If I have got six-pack, then I will get both the electrons, your electron and my electron. So between nitrogen and hydrogen, nitrogen is more electronegative. So this kind of breaking will take place so that all the pairs of electrons will be coming to nitrogen. This is all imagination, not the reality. Imagination. And by such kind of breakage, tell me how many extra electrons that nitrogen will be having. Extra electrons. Let me remind you that the charge is due to the loss of electron or gain of electron. As many electrons are lost by an atom, it gets positive charge, same quantity of positive charge. As many number of electrons an atom gains or a radical gains, that becomes the quantity of its negative charge. So nitrogen is now gaining 3 outside electrons, extra electrons. These 3 electrons are its own, but these 3 electrons are of hydrogens. So nitrogen will be acquiring -3 charge. I put minus sign first, then the number, because this is not a real charge. It is merely a hypothetical charge, which is called oxidation number. So the oxidation number of nitrogen is -3, and each of hydrogen is +1, because each of them is losing 1 electron. So oxidation number is determined for a single atom. Nitrogen has the ON. Henceforth, I will be saying oxidation number as ON or OS. So nitrogen has a OS -3, and each hydrogen has an OS of +1. Raise your hands, those who are able to understand what I am saying till now. Some of you have not known how to raise your Zoom hand. Not the hand you raise at your home like I am doing, and you open your video and show me. No need to open your video and kill more data. So Sanvi, you have not understood. So try to be very mindful when I am delivering my lecture. Vivo V2120, who are you? Are you an alien coming from a different planet? Change your name. Soumya, I think you are an alien. Who is Vivo? Change your name, or else I will write down alien from planet. If you don't then I I have the capacity to rename, or he has done. Sorry, Soumya. Otherwise, I would have told you I would have written alien from planet Mars. Aratrika, tome kahi hato teki nathila. Soumya has joined late, doesn't matter. Say, Soumya, just listen to me, that in a covalent molecule like ammonia, we are trying to find out the oxidation number of each atom. So it is defined as the theoretical charge, imaginary charge that an atom will carry on its head if all the bonds are broken in a manner that the bond pairs are transferred to the more electronegative atom. So nitrogen is more electronegative. So when all the three bonds will break, nitrogen will gain 3 additional electrons which were belonging to hydrogen. So it will develop a theoretical charge of -3, and each hydrogen has lost 1 electron will get a charge of +1 each. That is the oxidation number. Now, I would like you to tell me, because you are not a high school student, you are a senior high school student, secondary student, I'm sorry, you are higher secondary student. So the treatment will be different. Supposing I will say this is the molecule what we call thiosulfuric acid. This is thiosulfuric acid. So in place of one O, I have written same S. Now I would want you to find what is the oxidation number of this sulfur and this sulfur separately. Separately. It may not be same. It may not be same. So you just remove your hands. Don't show me your hands. Only when you answer this question, you will again raise your hands. I give you some time. Who has completed? You have to find out. And let me tell you, sulfur is less electronegative than oxygen. They are sisters belonging to the same family of group 16 or group 6A. They belong to the same family, but oxygen is more electronegative than sulfur. So when all the bonds will be broken in the way I have told you, tell me what will be the oxidation number of the central sulfur and the peripheral sulfur. The sulfur which is at the outer part, this one, and the central sulfur, this one, they might not be having same oxidation number. No hand raised. Mr. Panda. Mr. Panda, you know, the non-ODIs, particularly the Westerners, the Western people, they do not know, we call it Panda. They call Panda. Satyajit Panda. Panda is an animal. So they probably think that the surname has been obtained from the animal Panda. Satyajit Panda. Aratrika? Tanusri has raised her hand. Tanusri कहला मझी सल्फर रो केते?
Sir, +6,
हाँ आउ बाहर सल्फर रो?
+2,
अच्छा आउ किए कौन कहबो? पुलक कहला
सर मझी सल्फर +2 आ ऊपर सर ऊपर सल्फर 0।
अच्छा आउ किए कहबो? रिधि सीधी ए सुनो no किए कहूची एटा? Tell me who is speaking, Riddhi or Siddhi?
Sir, Siddhi.
Siddhi. Next time
Sir,
Riddhi will say.
Yes, sir. Central sulfur has +2. No, sorry, -2. And peripheral sulfur has 0.
Any other answer? Okay, let me give you a hint. Hint is that all the three answers are wrong. Now, anyone who will be trying to tell me the correct answer, although a big credit will not be given, but still I will be happy. Pulak, you want to change?
Yes sir.
Change karo.
सर सेंट्रल सल्फर +4
How?
सर ऊपर सल्फर 0।
Yes, 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 Riddhi Siddhi, you were wrong. Now see, it a double bond. Don't forget that this is a single bond. I have put 2 lines. इसका मतलब ये है, ये 2 pairs of electrons. So that is the mistake, Riddhi Siddhi, you have committed. You thought it is a single bond. No, it's a double bond. Now see, on this side where it is facing to oxygen, there will be complete transference of electron. But here I told you at the end of my definition, if the atoms are same, then nobody will snatch away anybody's electron. Each one will get back its own electron. So if there is no loss of electron, no gain of electron, there is no charge. So the oxidation number of this sulfur is 0 because it is bonded to same identical twin Riddhi Siddhi. So if Riddhi will show her muscle, Siddhi will show her muscle, they will declare no war. Same, I have the same muscle power as you are. So why is to fight? Why to fight? You will not lose, I will not lose. You will not gain, I will not gain. So the charge is 0. And this one has lost 1, 2, 3, 4. So here it is +4. Make sure that you always write plus and minus first and then the number 4 or 2 or whatever. Because to distinguish between a real charge, the real charge is that of an ion. We were talking about it before some time. When you put it in water, it will undergo ionization. It will form 4 potassium ions and 1 ferrocyanide ion. They will be roaming all around independently. They are real ions carrying real charge. But these are not real charges. They are fake charges. But you might be wondering why we are so very concerned about something which is fake. Yes. That fake charge will make the understanding of chemistry, particularly the inorganic chemistry, so easy. You will never ever want to mug up hundreds and thousands of equations that sometimes students they do for examination purpose, but they do not have a love for that part, that is inorganic chemistry. Well, for physical and organic, these are very, very logical from the very beginning. The students love them if they are intelligent. But inorganic is very, very monotonous. Why? Because the charm of inorganic chemistry, the nectar of inorganic chemistry has not been tested by many. That is why. Now, let us try to write down some rules rules, because at this stage, maybe for you another 1 month or 2 months in different coaching places, you will be studying chemical bond to know the structure in one flash. You can draw the structure and you can yourself find out. But as a beginner, I have named you as beginner, rules for finding NO. For simple molecules and ions, for simple. Otherwise, you will get an average. Supposing if you apply the rules for this molecule, then you will get an average of these two, 4 plus 0 by 2. So you will get plus 2. By applying the rules that we shall learn now, you will answer it is plus 2. But for JEE purpose, for NEET purpose, those who are aspiring for competitive examination, you have to say which one has which oxidation number, what oxidation number, not the average one. They have two oxidation numbers here. One is +4, the other one is 0. But if you find by applying the rule, then you will get an average of all these. So the first rule is in elementary state, when you find any atom in elementary state, maybe a pure metal like zinc, sodium, aluminum, or maybe a diatomic molecule like Cl2, O2, O3, S8, P4. So the oxidation number is 0, because I told you, even if there is a bond between chlorine and chlorine, bond between oxygen, oxygen, bond between nitrogen, nitrogen, but they are identical. No gain, no loss. Like this. So no one will acquire charge. So all of them will enjoy a oxidation state of potato. 0. And the second one, you need not write uranium, guys. You need not write. Just hold on. Then the second one is oxygen. Oxygen is always -2, but there are some exceptions which you must know, because you are no longer a high school student. You are now a higher secondary. We are not a secondary grade student. You are now a higher secondary grade student. Tell me, what are the exceptions? Who can tell? Exception: oxygen always has an oxidation number of -2, excepting what? Guruji
peroxide रे
Guruji peroxide रे -1
और superoxide रे
-half oxygen difluoride रे +2 oxygen monofluoride रे +1 एतिकी छाड़ी देले, excepting these 4 cases, in all other compounds, oxygen has always an oxidation number of -2. Now peroxide, you tell me, supposing I will put a peroxide linkage here, say hydrogen peroxide. Now if I draw the structure of hydrogen peroxide, you will know why it is -1, because this is Riddhi-Siddhi, same, identical. So no gain, no loss. So from this side and this side, the charge is 0. Only it will lose 2. I'm sorry. Hydrogen is less electronegative. Only it will gain from hydrogen. So only 1 electron will be gained. So each one will have a charge of -1. Each one. I told you repeatedly, oxidation number is found out for each single atom. So in peroxide, it may be hydrogen peroxide or any peroxide, barium peroxide, or any peroxide, it is -1. And in superoxide, which you will be knowing about it in our class 11, 12, is O2 single minus. I'm sorry. So if two atoms enjoy a charge of -1, So the theoretical charge that each one will enjoy is -half, because O2, 2 atoms, they enjoy -1 charge, but you are to find out for 1 atom. So the share is -half. And in oxygen difluoride, now you see, Amlan, if you are here, you are a great guy, but you have to laugh and smile, not laugh, but smile a little bit more, because smiling, laughing will give you so much of extra energy that you will yourself know only when you do. Spend some time with your family, with friends, with some humor, and laugh merrily. Smile, converting into laughter, and sometimes it is irresistible, explosion of laughter, which has no barrier at all. Even if you are sitting in front of your teacher or in a class, if that is a contagious disease that affects you, then the entire surrounding will be burst, will be exploded with irresistible laughter. Now, oxygen was hero when others were there, but when fluorine is there, oxygen is zero. I mean, it will lose, because fluorine is the most electronegative element. So the oxygen atom will lose 1 electron on this side, 1 electron on this side, so it will be carrying +2 charge. Same is the case with O2F2, where you have fluorine is always -1 and oxygen will be having +1. If I show you the structure, then Ridhi will come here in the middle, so we'll be losing only 1 electron on each side, so this will be +1 and this is +1, right? And the third rule, I will be taking up a little more speed now. My vehicle was in gear 2, and nowadays in Western countries like US, Europe, even Australia, New Zealand, Japan, and even China, there is no gear system in their vehicles. In India and African nations, the car builders, the vehicle builders, they have to put gears, gear 1, gear 2, 3, 4, 5, because there is no fixed traffic rules. The bulls, the cows, the sheep, dogs, they will fearlessly cross the roads at any time in country like India and other underdeveloped countries, as we love to say, developing. We love to say that, but it is underdeveloped countries. As long as we do not see a street dog in our lanes, in our streets, you cannot say India is a developed nation. Ga parimala dhoba tuthoru. Ridhi, you cannot know this Odia proverb. Ga parimala dhoba tuthoru means the entire quality of the village will be known once a stranger will watch the washerman's dhobis place. Nowadays, washing machines are coming in a big way, and dhobi concept is now becoming redundant. But still, in every village, there is a dhobi place where there is water, and all dhobis come. They beat their clothes so hard on the surface of some wood or some stone. They put some some soap on clothes, and they used to hammer it, and then they wash it. So that dhobi's place is indicative of the quality of the village, that we say ga parimala. The sanitary condition of the entire village is known from the Dhobi's place. Similarly, if the dog is barking everywhere, anywhere in the street, and a cow is crossing the road, a bull is going, while our children are moving, the old people are moving in the same lane, same here, bulls are moving, monkeys are, you go to several places, you'll find monkeys, they do havoc. They have made the life of people so miserable. And our authorities are unable to, fix the problem. Why I was saying this? Why I was saying this? Why I was saying this? Have I gone mad? Why I was saying this? I was saying, okay, the fourth rule, fourth or third? This is third. Hydrogen is always +1. An exception, yes, who can tell exception? Uranium? Yes, Hrishikesh?
Sir, metal hydride.
Metal hydrides. If it is hydrogen is bonded with a metal which is less electronegative, then it will lose. Hydrogen has to gain. Supposing sodium hydride, calcium hydride. So where exception, it is -1. In metal hydride, it is -1. But in all others, when there is a non-metal connected with hydrogen, it is always +1, because all non-metals are more electronegative than hydrogen. But metals are less electronegative than hydrogen. So hydrogen has to gain, the metals have to lose. And the fourth point is, yes, I remember, why did I say about the gears? So India, we use geared vehicles because you have to encounter a cow, a dog. Suddenly you have to, change the speed. But there are simple traffic rules. And in this road, 60 km/h or 60 miles per hour. In this road, 80. So they put up in the aeroplane mode, they fix up their speed control accelerator at 80 and they remain static. There is no possibility that anybody will intrude and he has to put a sudden brake. No possibility at all. Well, when there is a traffic jam, yes, then slow down and you have to wait for a longer time. That happens everywhere in the world. Yes, I was saying the fourth point is about monoatomic radicals. There are many monoatomic radicals. That radical will carry only one atom, like chloride, bromide, iodide, fluoride, and like positive ions like sodium ion, calcium ion. If it is iron, then it shows variable valency, +2 or +3 ferrous or ferric. So these are monoatomic ions. In a compound, if you find monoatomic ions like sulfide, must say -2, like nitride, like carbide. So these are monoatomic ions, and there are so many other, oxide. In that case, the oxidation number is equal to its real charge. Its real charge. So whatever is its real charge, that will be the oxidation number. That is for monoatomic. And the next one is for a neutral molecule. And goes without saying that fluorine is always -1 in any compound. Only in molecule like fluorine, where Riddhi Siddhi are there, it is 0 each. But in other compounds, fluorine always have -1 because it is the most electronegative element in the entire periodic table. Hrishikesh kahi hatte kicho? Guruji? हाँ जदि किसी मु देखुची तुमको ना तुम हाथ टेकिला माने मु भाबिबी तुमे कोन पचारछ आइदर मोर वॉइस जाउनी किबा तुमर डाउट किछि अछि आज फर्स्ट डे तेनु मे बी our progress will be little less, but doesn't matter, because our sittings should be meaningful for those who are attending sincerely. Fluorine, and the sixth one, for a neutral molecule, the sum of ON is equal to 0. Even if it is a theoretical charge, but the sum total will be 0. For example, we take sulfuric acid. This is a neutral molecule. I'll ask you to find what is the oxidation number of sulfur. Put an underline there. So the rules will be followed. Hydrogen is +1, but there are two hydrogens. So 2 into +1. And say sulfur is X. And for each oxygen -2. And there are 4 oxygens. So 4 into -2. And the sum is equal to 0. So find out what is X. +2, and this is -8. -8 plus 2 becomes -6, and it goes to the other side, it becomes +6. Don't write 6. Oxidation number has to be assigned with either plus or minus. Even if 6 means +6, but you have to put plus sign. That is the convention. So over sulfur, just over sulfur, write +6 and put a circle, because this is not the real charge. It is the fake charge, as we name it as oxidation number, +6. So in this way, you can find out, but if I ask you to find out for N2O, N2O is the laughing gas. N2O. If I ask you to find out what is the oxidation number of nitrogen, then you will say 2x. You will say the average oxidation number, because you do not know if there are more than one atom of a particular element. Then whatever you get in this formula method, we will only say its average. And for many purposes, the average will solve your purpose. But when you are asked to find out what is the actual oxidation number of each nitrogen, then unless you know the bond structure, you can't. So you have to wait till you study chemical bond and be thorough in chemical bond and write down the Lewis structures of all the covalent molecules and ions. Then only you can say the actual oxidation number in such cases. So 2x and 1 oxygen is -2, and it is a neutral molecule is 0. So X comes to be +1. So X comes to be +1. You write down, it's okay. For class 11, it is okay. Not for the competitive test. But if I now draw the structure, so you'll know why I'm drawing this. You know, this is a dative bond, and these are normal bonds. I will just, and this is a dative bond where the 2 electrons belong to nitrogen, this nitrogen, central nitrogen. This kind of bond is a different kind of covalent bond where one element, one atom contributes both the electrons, and that is called the coordinate bond or a dative bond. So can you tell me what is the oxidation number of the central, for you, let me not show you this. It will create problem. I will put an arrow mark because you are a beginner. The formal charge plus minus will confuse you at this stage. Now put a arrow mark to indicate it's a covalent bond, but no doubt, but it's a coordinate covalent or a dative bond where both the electrons belong to this nitrogen. Now tell me, what will be the oxidation number of this central nitrogen and the oxidation number of peripheral nitrogen? Yes. Aratrika hatteke chitika roitha au ke hatteke other than aratrika. Motivate hints de doji Riddhi Siddhi. And let me tell you, Riddhi Siddhi are two twin sisters. That is why I'm taking the name Riddhi Siddhi. Am I wrong? Riddhi Siddhi, are you not twin?
No, sir, not wrong.
Not wrong. अच्छा क्या हाथ टेक थिला बर्तन पुलक कहलो ए मझी नाइट्रोजन रो केते ये बीच वाला जो नाइट्रोजन है इसका कितना
सर +1
+1 एंड ये वाला
सर -1
no you are wrong absolutely wrong yes Aratrika
Sir, modular 3 ଆଉ
मझीटार केते मझीटार केते
0
मझीटार
Zero.
केते
modular 3
3
ଆଜ୍ଞା sir
+3 ना -3
+3
एटा 0
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ताहले तार एवरेज ता कोन +1 बाहरुची भलो -3 0 कोन ये कथा एटा +3 कहउछ धर +3 कहउछ +3 और 0 रो एवरेज ता कोन दीटा एटम रो एवरेज नेले कोन एटा 1.5 बाहरुची नो रॉ देखो बंद करो तुम देखो ये मु आगुरु कहिची ये दोनों इलेक्ट्रॉन्स दे बिलोंग टू नाइट्रोजन सो दोनों ऑक्सीजन ले जाएगा एंड ये रिद्धि सिद्धि किसी का भी लॉस नहीं होगा सो दिस नाइट्रोजन फ्रॉम द लेफ्ट साइड विल नॉट गेन एनी इलेक्ट्रॉन और लूज एनी इलेक्ट्रॉन सो फ्रॉम दैट साइड इट इज 0 but it is losing 2 electrons this is a dative bond and therefore it will be having +2 so central nitrogen will have +2 charge and this is Siddhi will getting the peripheral Siddhi will be carrying 0 charge and the central Riddhi she has to get +2 because C is bonded to oxygen where the 2 electrons belong to Siddhi so C has to lose according to rule it will lose to oxygen will carry +2 charge so the average of these two because there are 2 nitrogen atoms coming to +1 which matches with the one we found out using the formula right got it raise your hands who have understood including those who have joined fresh Tofan you are harbinger of a cyclonic storm I am scared of you तोफान आसी जीव जदि जदि हमर इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बंद हो जीवो तोफान आसी गले ताले हमें ऑनलाइन कैंप बंद हो जीवो सो तोफान I don't know who are you but as long as you are with me trying to learn something then I will be the happiest person on earth but you joined late I guess it doesn't matter you watch the video that I will upload after the class is over.
Sure, sir.
अगर हाथ टेकिलनी अम्लान अम्लान तमे बुझी पारलनी आरत्रिका तो कहिची आउ खाली तूफान समय तमे तो जॉइन कलो ठीक टाइम रे मु रिपीट करथिली समय बुझना बाबा समय हाँ okay now the last point is it 4 or 5 7 oh my god the last point is for polyatomic ion polyatomic it's not monoatomic ion रा oxidation number का साथ इसका actual charge same है लेकिन polyatomic ion जो like sulfate ion like phosphate ion like dichromate ion like even positive ion NH4+1 these are polyatomic ions so for them the sum of ON is equal to its charge the charge of the ion sum of the ON is equal to charge for example I say in dichromate ion say sulfate ion I say nitrate ion NO3 1- and I ask you to find out the oxidation number of nitrogen because oxygen we know so let us put X to nitrogen and plus each oxygen is -2 rule number 2 and there are 3 oxygen so 3 has to be multiplied sum has to be taken here the sum is not equal to 0 the sum is equal to the charge of the ion the net charge of the ion is -1. So you get X is equal to how much? How much? How much? Yes. Adesa, how much? अरे X कितने भरला? रानी
+5 sir.
5 plus na +5
+5.
তাহলে কোন এটা এটা প্রা হেক চার্জ মিচমিচ কা চার্জ, so this is +5. So write +5 over nitrogen, put a round mark that this is not a real charge of nitrogen, it's an oxidation number of nitrogen atom in nitrate ion, right? Now we shall be taking, say, permanganate ion. Find out for nitrogen and find that of dichromate ion. Here manganese and here chromium. And for a neutral molecule like phosphoric acid, or say, I'll give you another one, say perchloric acid, HClO4, and you need to find out for chlorine. This is called perchloric acid. You must do it in flash because you are also equally strong in calculation. Yes, Satyajit Honda has finished. Tinita mu deli practice question. And aji tamaku mu dei debi the homework, as we call it, practice questions, because this is a camp. I mean, we could have done it at our place, but since COVID has taught us, given us this boon of communicating with intelligent students like you from a distance, so we are taking the advantage of enjoying our camp while we are really not camping. This is again a misnomer, a paradoxical case where we are not really camping, but still we are naming it as camp. Because I used to say, because since you were class 11 now, you are attached to so many coaching places, and but in high school level, I used to say that you request your teacher not to have coaching on those days. I used to make it in June and spend every time at least these 3 days or 4 days for learning chemistry and physics, because in lower level I train them both chemistry and physics, but for higher secondary level only chemistry. Ranika कहलो manganese रो केते एठी
-9 sir.
तुमो गां रे थिबो, तुमो गां रे आमो गां कटक रे एटा -7 नुए,
-9 sir.
-9 नुए आमो गां रे। अच्छा किए पचारि रिधि सीधी सीधी को ना रिधि को रिधि रिधि
Sir, +7.
प्रिसाइजली +7। देखो रानी मैंगनीज को धर धरिबा x प्लस गोटे ऑक्सीजन को -2 हेले 4 ऑक्सीजन के लिए 4 into -2, and the sum is not equal to 0 because this is an ion, a negative ion. So the net charge of the ion is -1. Here it is minus means -1. So x comes +7. So the oxidation number of manganese is +7. And what about dichromate ion chromium? Okay, Gautam कहलो, Gautam
6
+6 +6 कहीं ना 2x method रे करिया को पड़िबो because there are 2 chromium atoms and we find for each chromium atom. So 2x plus 7 into -2 because there are 7 oxygen atoms is equal to -2. The net charge of the ion is -2. So x comes to be +6. So each chromium enjoys an oxidation number of +6. Riddhi Siddhi, and many of you might be wondering, sir, you told me when there are more than one atom of an element, the X method might give you an average value. So is it the average or each one really has a oxidation number of +6? Now let me tell you, this is a symmetrical structure, and if I do this structure, you will also say that each chromium has oxidation number of +6. It's not the average. Until and unless you know the structure, you can't believe that it is the correct oxidation number. It might be average, but let me tell you that for this ion, chromium has +6. Each of the 2 chromium atoms has ON equal to +6. Similarly, in perchloric acid, chlorine kete bharla, amlan koilo, amlan
+7.
precisely once again +7. Kainki, now hydrogen is +1 always. Only metallic hydride -1. +X. -8. Moiti sang sang eti au darkar nahi. 4 - 2. 4 into -2 is -8 is equal to 0. So X comes to be +7. So you just put a round mark indicating it's a fake charge. Now with this, let me give you some paradoxical cases. Just to know, give you an idea that you can't rely upon X method now at this stage. You cannot do that. You have to, say, I will be giving you the example of Fe3O4, what we call magnetic oxide. Or some people call it ferrosoferric oxide. The trick is here. It's black in color, magnetic oxide. So if you are asked to find out by X method, you will find 3x minus 8 is equal to 0. So X kete bharla. I will be a little faster because more gute mind re achi how far I will take you. So that I have to definitely do. So you have to be very mindful. तुम जेहेतु घरे अच्छा मु तुमको देखुनी देखिले भी किछि नहीं. I allow them to eat something. So you can order your parents to give something, some food, maybe a cup of drinks, hot drinks or cold drinks or some biscuits or whatever you like, so that you fill your stomach with some energy packages, and then you will get. They go to their coachings and other things without any food. I guarantee you, you will not be benefiting to the maximum. Well, yes, in the morning you don't like to eat. Okay, I understand. But you take some energy drinks. If you are fond of milk, then you can take milk with Bonvita. If you are not, then you eat something, you take a banana or whatever, which will give you some calories for the brain to function. Yes, you don't feel like eating because आपका भूख नहीं है. सुबह किसी को भूख नहीं होता है, लेकिन किसको भूख होता है. इतने वो भूखे होते हैं मॉर्निंग में, वो उठने के बाद जंप करते हैं खाने के चीज के ऊपर, वो खा जाते हैं पहले, इसके बाद they answer the call of nature. You understand what do I mean by answering the call of nature? So it is asla kete Rusikesh koilo X method re
8/3
plus 8/3. तमे भाबी परछो plus 8/3 गुटे कहार हेतिबो. Can you believe that any iron will have a fractional oxidation number? नामुमकिन है. Electron का number, even is an integer value, is a whole number value 1, 2, 3, 4. How can it be fractional? You find fractional means दाल में जरूर कुछ काला है. So if I tell you that actual is FeO.Fe2O3, there is 1 mole of ferrous oxide and other mole of ferric oxide. So there is the equimolar quantities of ferrous oxide and ferric oxide. So you have to find out 2 times. This is ferrous oxide, this is +2. And this is ferric oxide +3. And there are 2 + 3. So +2 + 3 + 3 by 3 atoms. So the average comes to be +8 by 3. But none of them has a real oxidation state of +8 by 3. एक का +2 है, 2 का +3 है. So कुल एवरेज मिला के आता है +8 by 3. तो ये पैराडॉक्सिकल केस हमको मालूम पड़ता है, जो रूल है, रूल के बेसिस के मालूम पड़ता है +8 by 3. लेकिन हम जब इसका रियल स्ट्रक्चर जानते हैं तो हमको पता चल जाता है तो किस एटम का रियली कितना है. सेम इज द केस विथ रेड लेड Pb3O4. This is very famously called red lead. It looks completely red, but actually if you find by X method you will get +8 by 3, but actually it is 2 PbO.1 PbO2. It is a combination of 2 moles of lead 2 oxide and 1 mole of lead 4 oxide. So 1 lead will be having +2 and this is +4 because oxygen is normal, -2 -4, so lead will be +4. So 2 +2 type and 1 +4 type, and it will be enjoyed by 3. So the average will be coming same +8 by 3, but actually 1 will be having +4, 2 will be having +2. This is another paradoxical case. Don't worry if you are little slow in writing, just try to understand, and then I will send you even the class file. Even the class file I will send you. See how much work I will be making after the class is over. I will take a cup of hot drink and then I'll upload the video and all the files, your homework practice question file, where before I leave you, I will tell you what you will do. I will give you a lot of practice questions, but for tomorrow, I will ask you to do only 3 or 4 of each number, only 2 to 3. Others you can do it, and I will provide you the answers also to match, because after 5 days, we will be not seeing each other physically, except a few of you who are staying at Cuttack, right? But I have told to the uranium awardees that I am there for you. Even if you are studying in Berhampur or anywhere in the world, you can contact me if you have got any specific doubt that this problem I am not able to do. So kindly help. I will find time and I will explain to you. Even I am staying at Cuttack. And you are not coming to me, doesn't matter. Yes, this is red lead. Another example I'll give you is very interesting. I have already told you this, S2O3 2-. This is the thiosulfate ion. I told you its acid. The same thing will be for its ion. This is called thiosulfate. You can write pH. You can write also Fa. This is American English and pH is British English. Both are correct. So by X method, you will find 2x minus 6 is equal to -2, x is equal to +2. That is the average. And I have already drawn the structure before, accepting that it was a hydrogen attached to it because that was an acid, and it's the corresponding negative ion. So while drawing the actual structure, you can say as Ranika or some, no, Ranika no. Ye thik hoitilo? Who has told the correct answer? Ye koitilo thik? पुलक हाँ सिर्फ लास्ट को करेक्शन कर देथिला हाँ से निजे भूल कहितला पुणी तापर करेक्ट कर देला सो दिस सल्फर इज +4 बिकॉज 80 हरइबो 80 80 80 दीज आर द 4 प्लेसेस वेयर ये होएगा लेकिन ये सीधी सीधी है ना गेन करेगा ना लूज करेगा सो इसका 0 है तो इसका +4 इसका 0 so the average becomes 2 equal to +2. Same thing will happen here. For example, I will give you another ion S2O8 2-. This is called peroxydisulfate. So find out by X method what is the oxidation number of sulfur in S2O8 2-, peroxydisulfate. Quick. We'll be doing so many things. सत्यजीत has X मेथड रहेगा करो पहले आप X मेथड में कीजिए इसके बाद मैं जब आपको स्ट्रक्चर लिख के ड्रॉ करके मैं दूंगा तब जाके आप कह पाओगे इस सल्फर का कितने ऑक्सीडेशन नंबर है तो X मेथड में कितना आता है किसी को मैंने पूछा नहीं क्वेश्चन आज तक आकांक्षा प्रियदर्शनी कहला
Sir, +7.
Precisely. 2x minus 16 is equal to -2. This is a negative ion. So x comes to be +7. But can you believe, Riddhi Siddhi, that sulfur belonging to the oxygen family, belonging to group 6A or 16, can they have, sulfur has 7 electrons in its valence shell? If you remember, oxygen is 2, 4. Sulfur is also 2, 4. So all the family members have the same number of electrons in their valence shell. So 6 अगर इलेक्ट्रॉन्स इनके पास है वैलेंस सेल में तो कहां से 7th इलेक्ट्रॉन आएगा इवन इफ फॉर शेयरिंग तो ये नामुमकिन है इसका मैक्सिमम ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट 6 से ज्यादा हो नहीं पाएगा हम ओडिया रे गुटे अछि गहम गोटी गणता the countable 6 number is maximum it can share less than that but the maximum oxidation state cannot exceed 6 तो दाल में जरूर कुछ काला है तो इसके लिए आपको स्ट्रक्चर देखना पड़ेगा इसके आप लोग सोच रहे होंगे तो हम कैसे जानेंगे the trick I am saying if you by chance you find the oxidation number of sulfur is coming more than its group number, the erstwhile group number 6 ଏବେ 16 करा गलानी but it was 6 so ସେଇଟା ହେଲା maximum number of electrons in its valence shell तो ताठू जदी exceed करी गला if it exceeds the valence electrons then you just reduce it to the valence electron अगर 6 से ज्यादा हो गया 7 हो गया 8 हो गया तो इसको घटा के आप 6 पे छोड़ दीजिए जरूर इसका 6 से ज्यादा नहीं होगा अगर ज्यादा आ जाता है गलती से आ जाता है क्योंकि दाल पूरा काला नहीं है दाल में कुछ काला है इसके लिए 6 के बदले में आपको 7 मिलता है तो देखते हैं क्या रियली कितना है तो मैंने ट्रिक बता दिया आपको 6 करना है आपको अगर आपको स्ट्रक्चर मालूम नहीं है तो ट्रिक है इसको घटा के आप 6 में छोड़ दीजिए 6 से कम नहीं होगा क्योंकि 6 से ज्यादा आ गया मतलब 6 है तो मैं आपको दिखाता हूं तो क्या क्यों ऐसा हुआ आप ये है स्ट्रक्चर आप गिन लीजिए आपको मिलेगा 3 3 6 बीच में 2 ये जो बीच वाला 2 ऑक्सीजन है ये पेरोक्सी वाला रिधि सीधी इधर बैठे हैं तो इसके कारण सल्फर का चार्ज +7 आ जाता है लेकिन अगर आप देखोगे स्ट्रक्चर देखोगे आप हैंड रेज करके मुझे बताइए ईच सल्फर का ऑक्सीडेशन नंबर कितने इलेक्ट्रॉन्स ईच सल्फर लूज करेगा आप मुझे बताइए तो मुझे 1 मिनट दे दीजिए आप इन द मीनवाइल आप कैलकुलेट कीजिए मैं यूं गया यूं आया। Hello and welcome, young ladies and young men aspiring to become doctors. And ମୁଁ ଗୋଟେ experience share କରିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଛି, which happened a couple of days ago, maybe 3-4 days ago that happened. Let me tell you that many of us do not want to identify ourselves before someone to take any advantage. Whatever is due to a common man, same is due to us also. So I took my brother-in-law, who was having some problems which needed some surgery, to one of the leading doctors, surgeons. I will not take his name. Yes, I will take his name because I'm proud of him. He is the head of the department of urology department in SCB Medical College, Dr. Samir Swain. I never knew by face or by anything. I didn't know him before. So I took my brother-in-law in a usual manner, taking a number from the assistant and waiting in the queue. Our turn came and he called the name of my brother-in-law, who was the patient, and both of us went. And you will not believe that the HOD of a department just came out from his seat and fell flat before me, reminding me. I felt so awkward because I don't enjoy those moments when anyone, even Amlan came with his father, who believed that this is more important than anything, that touching the feet of gurus is really important than anything else. Well, that is our the culture of the Indians. Okay, I understand, but I do not have any belief to such concepts, because my belief systems are not the same as what you believe or anyone believes. When you become an adult, your belief system might not match with your parents, because you are an individual. The same substance is present in you, present in me, and every person. Same substance, same spirit. The quality of spirit is same. So your belief system should not be in any way influenced by your parents, by your because every one of us is having the same spirit. So when anybody touches my feet, I am really embarrassed, because to me the feet is the filthiest place of the body. It contains the maximum dirt, and I am hygienically, I am very concerned that if you touch your hand in a dirty place, you must have to wash it immediately, which you will not do. So therefore the Westerners, they say hi. I like it. It's much more powerful. We Indians, they cannot reconcile to say hi to a teacher instead of touching feet. So let me tell you that to me, hi is more powerful, more loving gesture than touching the feet, of course. Some will say by bending down, you make your spinal cord more stronger. There are many ways you can do Surya Namaskar, which I also do. Surya Namaskar. Why to teach touch a feet of a mortal being? So let us not enter into that controversial debate. Coming back to this, Riddhi Siddhi. So for this, there will be no charge from this side, but this side, tell me what you got. क्या आपको मिला? ईच सल्फर का कितना हुआ? आप लोग मेरा लेक्चर सुन रहे थे, लेकिन आप मुझे बताइए ईच सल्फर का ऑक्सीडेशन नंबर कितना आएगा? पुलक is the only one who raised his hand. Sanvi कहलो.
Sir, +6.
Precisely, because यहाँ एक इलेक्ट्रॉन लूज करेगा, यहाँ 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स because it is double bond, यहाँ 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स लूज करेगा, यहाँ 1 इलेक्ट्रॉन लूज करेगा. So कुल मिला के सल्फर +6, here also +6, because we were treating these 2 oxygen as -2 wala, like physics wala, -2 wala oxygen. That is why in calculation we are getting 6, 7 for each. But since it is -1, there are 2 oxygen of -1 type and 6 oxygen are of -2 type. So supposing by some way your teacher told you that 6 are of normal type and 2 are of peroxy type. So then you can say that, okay, let me make 2x and this normal oxygen is -12. And for peroxy oxygen, O2 minus, for both oxygen, it is -2, and the total charge is -2. So you will get +6, no doubt. But for that, you have to know that there are 2 types of oxygen. 6 are of normal type, 2 are of abnormal type, peroxy type. So I will give another example, and you will find that in, say, sodium pentasulfide, this is Na2S5. What will be the oxidation number of sulfur? Because I take today's program for oxidation number and its advanced concept, the paradoxical cases that you will encounter, and you must now realize, unless I become thorough in chemical bond, which some of you by unfortunate circumstances may not, but writing Lewis structures. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. तो सल्फर भरला कितने? When I say सल्फर का कितना, तो आपको रूल के तहत आपको निकालना होगा. तो रिद्धि सिद्धि आपको कितना मिला? रोमिया, तूफान, आपको कुछ समझ में आता है? तूफान
सर थोड़ा लेट ज्वाइन हुआ था सर, थोड़ा डाउट हो रहा है.
कोई बात नहीं, आप देखिए, अंत तक देखिए, मेरे साथ बने रहिए, और 1 घंटे के बाद मैं जब लिख दूंगा जो मैंने छोड़ दिया आपका मतलब YouTube में छोड़ दिया, तब जाके आप YouTube फर्स्ट पोर्शन देख सकते हैं. इसके बाद आप प्रैक्टिस क्वेश्चन करेंगे. इसके बाद फिर भी डाउट आपको आएगा तो मुझे 8 बजे आप फिर मैं लिंक भेजूंगा उसी ग्रुप पर, आप आपका डाउट पूछ सकते हैं. ठीक है? तो कितना आया गौतम?
Sir, -2/5.
Precisely -2/5, because Riddhi Siddhi 2x. Sodium is a monoatomic ion. सोडियम का वैलेंसी कभी चेंज नहीं होगा. ये वेरिएबल वैलेंसी शो नहीं करता. ग्रुप 1 all enjoy only one oxidation state +1. One charge, 1 plus. So 2x I'm sorry, +2, I'm sorry, for 2 sodium +2 plus 5x, because there are 5 sulfur, is equal to 0. So x comes to be -2/5. But आपको क्या लगता है कोई एटम का ऑक्सीडेशन नंबर फ्रैक्शनल हो सकता है क्या? नहीं, नामुमकिन। तो इसीलिए आपको मैं पेंटासल्फाइड आयन का मैं आपको स्ट्रक्चर बताता हूं। ये सीधा ट्रेन है। तो बताइए ईच सल्फर का कितना? लेफ्ट से राइट तक आप सपोजिंग नंबरिंग कर दीजिए। आपको बताना होगा किसका कितना रियल ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट कितना। मिस्टर फांडा
sir -2
कोटा एटार
नाइ sir sulfur रो real oxidation number
ए सबुठु जोटा लेफ्ट रे अछि तार केते? तापर पचारिबी एटार केते, 3 नंबर रो केते, 4 नंबर रो केते, 5 नंबर रो केते? यस सत्यजित को 1 नंबर रो केते? अरे एवडा सब रिधि सिधि पुरा अछंती एवडा सब। यस पुलक
सर 0
कोटा एटार
यस सर
ऑलरेडी पुरा चार्ज ता मुंडो ऊपर ऑलरेडी -1 अछि ये छाडी की सोडियम छाडी के जाईची। सोडियम गोटे एपटे गोटे सेपटे दीटा सोडियम गोटे सोडियम एपटे छाडीची गोटे सोडियम सेपटे छाडीची ऑलरेडी तार गोटे इलेक्ट्रॉन एक्स्ट्रा अछि -1 रे से अछि। तेबे कुओ
सर -1
यस এটা -1 কারণ এটি রিধি সিধি এটি রিধি সিধি এটি রিধি সিধি এটি রিধি সিধি। সো এই অ্যাটম র কেতে হবে রিধি? রিধি এই সব
0 sir.
0 इसका सीधी
So which one? Number 1?
3। आप कहां कहां
0.
हाँ
0.
इसका
0.
इसका
-1.
-1 तो लिखा हुआ है ना। ये तो ऑलरेडी हैज एक्वायर्ड -1 फ्रॉम समबडी लाइक सोडियम। सो ये इस टर्मिनल सल्फर का ईच का -1 और बीच वाला जो सल्फर तीनों का 3 respectively 0 0 0 all are 0. So if you add all these the total will be -2 and shared by 5, so the average is coming -2/5, but none of them has a oxidation number of -2/5. It's paradox. They're actually something different than what is appearing to us by simple calculation method, right? And I will give you many more examples. Supposing I ask you Br3O8, find out for bromine X method रे बाहर करो केते बार छै? X method रे कोन बाहर करू एते डेरी लागु तुमको रोम्या? X method रे बाहर कर पारुनो 3x -16 गोटा को -2 हेले 8 को 16 is equal to 0. It's not a ion, it's a neutral molecule. So x is coming केते आसला 16/3 माने केते 16/3 माने 16/3 आ कोन बट 16/3 कोन के हेई परिबो? If I draw the structure you will be really now tell me 3 3 6 plus 2 8. Now tell me each one. Supposing we number this as bromine number 1, this is 2, this is 3. अब बताइए इस ब्रोमीन का कितना, बीच वाला ब्रोमीन का कितना और दी राइट मोस्ट का कितना? अम्लान कृष्ण कहलो
The प्रथमटा +6 सेंट्रलटा
केते प्लस
+6
6 ओके एटा मझीटा
+4
+4 एटा
+6
ठीक कहचंती सानवी से ठीक कहची
No, sir.
तमे कोन कहउछो
Sir, first टा +7, second टा +6, third टा +7.
नो तुमे भूल कहच अम्लान कृष्ण ठीक कहचंती कारण तुमे भूली गलो आ भितरे रिद्धि सिद्धि अछंती रिद्धि सिद्धि जो पर्यंत अछंती से पर्यंत पृथ्वी चलिबो नहने चली परिबोनी कौन सानवी ये तो तू तो जे मु तो सी तोर कौन मसल अधिका है बाइसेप तोर अच्छी मोर भी बाइसेप एका सो ए पाई किछि से लूज करिवनी गेन करिवनी एठी 6टा इलेक्ट्रॉन एठी डबल बॉन्ड एठी डबल बॉन्ड एठी डबल बॉन्ड सो 6 2 2 4 2 6 6टा इलेक्ट्रॉन लूज करिवो 6 ई मध्य सेया तू तो जे मु तो सी रिधि सीधी सो ये ए ब्रोमीनटा एपट आड़ू किछि गेन करिवनी कि लूज करिवनी एपट आड़ू भी किछि करिवनी केवल एई दीटा पाई जीवो एपटे डबल बॉन्ड सेपटे डबल बॉन्ड सो 4टा इलेक्ट्रॉन इट विल लूज सो इट विल बी +4 सो सब तक मिसई देले 6 6 12 4 16 सो 16 बाई तीनों एटम्स है तो एवरेज निकलता है 16/3 लेकिन किसी ब्रोमीन का भी 16/3 नहीं है दोनों का +6 जो टर्मिनल वाला और बीच वाला का +4 है तो इसी के साथ मैं आपको एक चैलेंज देता हूं डेयर करता हूं आप मेरे जो है आप लोगों को प्रैक्टिस क्वेश्चंस में दूंगा आप कंप्लीट कीजिए आई विल नॉट प्रेस यू टू कंप्लीट ऑल but since you are taking my course might be I will take a test for you if required since you will be busy and you are busy now you may not appear the test but I can conduct an online test if you are interested you can appear if not no compulsion now interestingly bleaching powder as we commonly write in lower level CaOCl2 and we find the oxidation number average oxidation number as 0 you will yourself find but actually it is a misnomer it is a paradox when I say the real structure it is having two negative ions one is hypochlorite calcium 2+, the negative ions are two types. One is OCl minus, the other one is Cl minus. So OCl minus is a polyatomic ion. You have to use the X method to find out for chlorine. Oxygen is always -2 and chlorine say X. And since this is an ion, the net charge of this will be equal to -1 because it is hypochlorite ion. The net charge is -1, X is coming +1. So interestingly, one chlorine has +1 charge and this one is chloride, which is a monoatomic ion. And as per rule, its oxidation state is same as its valency. So this is -1. So in bleaching powder, there are two types of chlorine and the action of bleaching powder is due to this chlorine. In hypochlorite ion is real hero here, which is responsible to oxidize other substances. The bleaching powder action is due to the hypochlorite ion, not the chloride ion. It's just a friend, needless friend. इसके बदले में अगर bromide ion होता तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं होता. Hypochlorite ion is the real hero because the chlorine is in the +1 state. The net charge of the ion is -1, but the chlorine has an oxidation state of +1. Now you can realize how meaningful will be to know oxidation number of each atom and monitor, follow it during a course of reaction. क्या होता है, ये रिएक्टेंट साइड में ये था, लेकिन प्रोडक्ट के साइड में क्यों बदल गया, इसका जो लॉजिक आपको जानने को मिलेगा इस स्टेज में। अभी तो इस टाइप का है। अभी मैं आपका टाइम ज्यादा नहीं लेते हुए और एक मुझे याद आ गया, दिस is a very deceptive molecule, we call it iron disulfide, like polysulfide S5 जो हुआ था, S5 2 minus, this is also S2 2 minus, all of them have a net charge of 2 minus, S3 2 minus, S4 2 minus, S5 2 minus, these are called polysulfide, they are not normal sulfide. So here Riddhi-Siddhi comes into picture. In polysulfide ions, Riddhi-Siddhi comes into picture. So here you can get the average oxidation number -1 here. This is -2/3 here, -2 here, and no, sorry, -half. I'm so sorry. -half here, and this is a -2/5 here, as we have already done. Because the same, दोनों का -1, and if it is 3 sulfur, ये -1, ये -1, ये रिद्धि सिद्धि बीच वाला जो है वो बन गया 0, तो इसलिए we are getting -2/3. Similarly S4 बीच वाला 2 सल्फर का 0 0 और टर्मिनल सल्फर का -1 -1, so the average becomes half, -half. The same way, so this S2 is, since it is 2 minus, so each one is -1 and ferrous is +2. So this is ferrous. Many people, when you will ask 100% people, out of them, minimum 50% will say now, even if they have passed out or they are in the advanced stage of getting into. So they will say iron is in the +4 state. And sulfur, they consider as a normal sulfur -2. So there are 2 sulfurs. So this is -4. A total I'm talking of, and each sulfur is -2. So they consider sulfur as normal monoatomic sulfide -2. So there are 2 such. So total is -4. So iron is in the +4 state. Wrong. Iron is in the +2 state. And each sulfur is in the -1 state. This is a polysulfide. आपका जहन में घुसता है क्या? आप मुझे हाथ ऊपर उठा के बता दीजिए। मेरे कॉन्फिडेंस लेवल को बढ़ाने के लिए मैं कभी कभी आप लोगों से ये उम्मीद करता हूं, तो आप समझ रहे हैं या आपका समझने में कोई दिक्कत परेशानी आ रहा है? तो कोई बात नहीं, हम अभी कुछ ही देर के बाद हम ये पहला सेशन हम खत्म करेंगे, लेकिन क्योंकि मैं आज आपको बोल दूंगा क्या क्या करना है, तो कल से हम ज्यादा टाइम बर्बाद नहीं करेंगे मेरे भाषण के जरिए। जो मैं कभी कभी मेरे केमिस्ट्री के अलावा मैं कभी कभी कुछ अलग चीज बोलता हूं, जो मेरा मकसद है आप लोगों को आगाह करना। मेरा जो लाइफ का जो है प्रिंसिपल्स मैं आप लोगों के साथ शेयर करना पसंद करता हूं, क्योंकि मुझे लगता है अगर हम नहीं करेंगे तो कौन करेगा? ये आपके ऊपर डिपेंड करता है कि आप जब बड़े हो जाओगे, अब 2 इयर्स के बाद आप एडल्ट बन जाओगे, तो इसके 4-5 साल के बाद आप इंडिपेंडेंट भी बन जाएंगे, आप आपका घर के ऊपर डिपेंड नहीं करोगे। तो इसके बाद अगर आपका कोई इंडिपेंडेंट फॉर्मेशन नहीं आया, मेंटल फॉर्मेशन वही रह गया जो आपको आपका ग्रैंडफादर सिखाते थे, बाप को, पिता माता को, पिता माता जो आपको सिखाते थे वही रह जाएगा, तो ये सिलसिला जारी रहेगा। आपका बेटे बेटी पोता पोती भी वही काम करते रहेंगे, कोई बदलाव नहीं आएगा। लेकिन मुझे लगता है ये यूनिवर्स इज कॉन्स्टेंटली चेंजिंग। जो हम थर्मोडायनेमिक्स में पढ़ेंगे तो ये आई यू ऑलवेज यूज thermodynamics in our societal affairs, that change will happen, maybe slow in some cases, maybe fast in some cases. Now coming to write down ionic equations. These are very, very cool, and you guys, you know. Now for writing ionic equation, you know these 3 terms, 4 terms. Ac, when you write something ac after something, it means aqueous. This means soluble. It is soluble in water to dissociate into respective positive and negative ions. And if you write something as solid, so this is S stands for solid, and that will not, for example, it is a metal like zinc, or it is a precipitate like calcium carbonate, which we often show by a downward arrow mark, a precipitate. So that is given as solid mark. So here ions are formed, here no ions. The insoluble, these are the solid stands for insoluble substance. So insoluble substances, they don't dissociate into ions. And you have another L. Supposing bromine is a liquid, water is a liquid at room temperature. So this L stands for liquid, and gas, G stands for gas, like ammonia, like nitrogen, hydrogen, these are gas. So L, G, S, these species will not form any ions. They will be written as such. But if you know a certain substance is soluble, then you write Ac to the right of it and split them into ions and cancel the spectator ions on either side to find out the actual heroes in the chemical game. Now, before I tell you, I remind you the solubility rules. You know, you have to write down in your copy, not now, the how to know. Riddhi Siddhi might be wondering, how should we know which substance is soluble? Once you know these substances are soluble, the others are insoluble. Indirectly, you can infer that these substances are insoluble. All inorganic acids, nitric acid, sulfuric acid, hydrochloric acid, phosphoric acid, all are soluble. All, no exception. Alkali metals, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, francium, these metal salts, irrespective of its surname, whether it is Singh, Mahanti, or Das. If it is sodium salt, potassium salt, they are all soluble. All ammonium salts are soluble, irrespective of the anions. All nitrates, supposing nitrate is Panda. If the title is Panda, then all Pandas are soluble in water. It is bismuth nitrate or ferrous nitrate, ferric nitrate, all nitrates are soluble, no exception. All chlorates, perchlorates are soluble. All acetates are soluble. All sulfates are soluble, except ये दोनों के exceptions होते हैं. Lead, strontium, barium, mercurous, mercuric, silver. इन लोगों का sulfates are insoluble. इनको छोड़ के और कोई भी metal ion हो, इसका sulfate पानी में soluble. Chloride, bromide, iodide, and no, I'm not talking of fluoride. Chloride, bromide, iodide, these salts are soluble, except these metal ions, mercurous, not even mercuric. Mercurous, Riddhi Siddhi, usually up to class 10, you write Ag1+. Mercurous is 1, mercuric is 2. But now in class 11, you know, mercurous, the formula is not Ag1+, it is Ag2, 2+. दोनों हमेशा इकट्ठे रहते हैं. मरकुरी मरकुरी का एक कोवलेंट बॉन्ड होता है, तो अगर एक के लिए आप निकालोगे आपको +1 मिलेगा, लेकिन इसका फॉर्मूला Ag1+ नहीं होता है, इसका फॉर्मूला Ag2 2+ होता है. ये जब आप +2 में आए गए हो तो हम ये ठीक वाला जो फॉर्मूला आपको हम बोलेंगे, ना कि जो प्रीवियसली आप जानते थे मर्क्यूरी इज Ag1+, ये नहीं चलेगा, अब से ये नहीं चलेगा। तो इसका बजाय आपको बाद में मिलेगा। क्यों देयर इज ए मर्क्यूरी मर्क्यूरी कोवेलेंट बॉन्ड, क्यों, इसका वजह क्या है, ये वजह ढूंढने हम यहाँ बैठे नहीं। ये मोटिवेशनल कैंप है। इसका मकसद ये होता है टू टेल यू, टू अप्राइज यू दैट केमिस्ट्री इज ऑल्सो ए लॉजिकल सब्जेक्ट। मर्क्यूरस, सिल्वर, लेड, cuprous, this is +1, cupric is +2, that is they are soluble, but cuprous and thallium plus, so ये छोड़ के और दूसरों का क्लोराइड, ब्रोमाइड, आयोडाइड soluble. So ये you have to write down in your copy. And insoluble rule, there is no necessity. I have given a table just to know which are insoluble. All fluorides, all oxides, hydroxide, इनका भी exception होता है। इनसॉल्युबल का एक्सेप्शन सॉल्युबल। तो मैं बच्चों को कहता हूं तो आप इसको रिमेंबर करना नहीं चाहिए। अगर आप जानते हैं तो ये सॉल्युबल है, तो एनी अदर थिंग देन दिस दैट इनसॉल्युबल। इनडायरेक्टली यू टच योर नोज लाइक दिस और लाइक दिस, you can know. You wanted to know which one is a solid, insoluble. If it is not soluble, then it is insoluble. And if it is not a liquid nor a gas, then it is indirectly insoluble solid. Now I'll give you, before I close, I will take a little more time. Those who have schools, they are allowed to leave the meeting, but I will be taking a little more time to finish the target that I set in the beginning. Now supposing I would like to ask you to find out the ionic equation for this one. Say well, ମୁଁ ତୁମକୁ ଗୋଟେ ଦଉଛି, so zinc plus nitric acid giving you zinc nitrate plus say N2O plus water. ମୁଁ ଯାହା ଦଉଛି, once you are thorough in this, what we call advanced LOC, advanced language of chemistry, and you thorough in balancing equations, then and thorough in mole concept, এই তিনটারে যদি thorough হবো, then you will embrace the whole chemistry in a wholesome manner. And majority of the students, they are weak in these three. They do not have knowledge of advanced LOC. They do not have much access to mole concept, superficial knowledge. That is why they fail. I mean, I'm not saying fail in the classical sense, but they fail to love chemistry, like they love mathematics and physics. Well, zinc is a solid because all metals are solids excepting mercury, which is a liquid. All acids are soluble, Ac. All nitrates are soluble, Ac. This is a gas, ha ha ha, laughing gas. We know water is a liquid, L. So we know the only thing that we have to apply the rules of solubility is all acids are soluble. Inorganic, not organic. Organic में से सिर्फ acetic acid and formic acid, they are soluble. Zinc, all nitrates are soluble, and this is metals are solids. So when you develop equation, total ionic equation, you can't touch those which are associated with liquid, gas, and solid. You have to split these into ions. So nitric acid will be split into positive ion. Nitric acid has hydrogen ion and nitrate ion. Don't write how many, because we have not balanced it. Simply write 1 to represent the ion, but not 2 or 4 or 5 or 6, because we are not today going to balance. Simply the ion and its actual charge. And in the right side, it is zinc ion plus nitrate ion. Don't write 2, because we are not balancing it. Simply write which are the ions, which are the real players, like Dhoni. And Dhoni is in an IPL. but it's not an Indian team. Indian team re achi Rohit Sharma and the great K. Onta na Jagur captain thilamu.
Sir,
अरे
Virat
कौन था ना?
Kohli.
हाँ?
Virat Kohli.
विराट कोहली. Yes. ये विराट कोहली ये सब मन सेमानकु आमे जानिबा ये बेकारिया लोक तांको हटेइबा. And now this is N2O is a gas. We can't do anything about it. And H2O is a liquid. We can't ionize them. So those which are G, L, S, we can't touch it. We'll write as such. But those which are AC, soluble, we split them into positive and negative ions. Now, see which are the real spectators. It appears that nitrate ion is on the both sides. So you cancel it. So the common ions are usually spectators. So you cancel. But after cancelling, when you write down the net ionic equation like this, then आपको एक झटका लगेगा जोर से. क्योंकि राइट हैंड साइड में N2O है, लेकिन इसका काउंटर पार्ट कोई भी नहीं है जिसने इसको जन्म दिया. इसका माता पिता नहीं है. तो आपको एक झटका लगेगा, क्यों मैंने गलती तो नहीं की थी. Yes, you have done a blunder by cutting nitrate ion from left side. तो immediately आपको जब झटका लगेगा तो immediately जो आपने काटा था इसको फिर वापस ले आइए लेफ्ट साइड में. लेकिन राइट साइड में इसका कोई जरूरत नहीं है. ये सिर्फ नाइट्रेट आयन लिखने के लिए जो जिंक नाइट्रेट जो है ना, इसके लिए चाहिए था. सो ये नाइट्रेट आयन स्पेक्टेटर इसका कोई काम नहीं है. लेकिन ये जो है हीरो, ये ऑलरेडी मौजूद है. तो राइट साइड में नाइट्रेट आयन का कोई रोल नहीं है, क्योंकि अगर आप बैलेंस करोगे इधर आ जाएगा सपोजिंग 6, इधर आ जाएगा सपोजिंग 2. So 2 2s are 4 nitrogen is the real hero, and this 2 2s are 4 nitrate ion, and here supposing it is 8. So out of 8 nitrate ion, 4 nitrate ion will be cut out, and this 4 nitrogen from N2O will be there. So from right side you remove nitrate ion. It is looking very awkward. Already nitrogen containing species is there. But in the left side, some of the nitrate ions are heroes. Although some of the nitrate ions, we have cancelled them because they are too joined with zinc, so that we can write a neutral molecule zinc nitrate. तो उसको हम हटा दिए. अब इसको हमने एलिमिनेट कर चुके हैं ऑलरेडी राइट हैंड साइड से. सो द रियल नेट आयनिक इक्वेशन, मुझे लगता है अगर आपका IQ लेवल थोड़ा सा कम है, कोई बात नहीं, इसमें आपको थोड़ा सा कठिनाई आ सकता है, लेकिन कोई बात नहीं, हम बाद में फिर एक बार डिस्कस करेंगे. और आप जब प्रैक्टिस करोगे आपको लगेगा दोनों साइड में है, लेट मी कैंसल आउट. तब कैंसिल करने के बाद आप जब देखोगे आपको झटका लगेगा, राइट हैंड साइड में कोई है, इसका कोई काउंटर पार्ट नहीं है. तो इमीडिएटली ट्रिक इज, जिसको आपने लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में काटा था उसको फिर वापस ले आइए. लेकिन राइट हैंड साइड में जो काटा था ये सही था, कुछ मत कीजिए. ये है ट्रिक. तो I have told you that how to write down the ionic equation. Using this, you have to practice a lot of supposing I say potassium permanganate. This is the last one I am giving you, plus ferrous sulfate. We have already 9 minutes past 8. Doesn't matter. Sometimes we go for 3 hours, but we won't do that because I have to sit again in the night. So I don't usually teach more than 2 hours a day. I don't shout because I used to shout for recording videos. I will tell you that when you have your program in different coaching places, in different parts of Odisha, you can benefit from my videos, study videos, which I have done in most important topics like organic stereochemistry. And I'll tell you, whenever you face a real difficulty, conceptually, you can see them. I have already several videos in my channel, SST chemistry channel, I'll tell you. And this is MnSO4 plus ferric sulfate. So now you have to put AC. Riddhi Siddhi, all potassium salts are soluble, AC. All acids are soluble, AC. All sulfates are soluble. Under the exception category, iron is not coming, ferrous is not coming. It is only lead, barium, strontium, and mercurous. These are some of the exceptions where iron sulfate is soluble, AC. All potassium salts are soluble, so also sulfate. All sulfates are soluble. Manganese is not coming in the exception. All sulfates are soluble. All are AC excepting water, which is a liquid. Then I told you, don't balance it. Tomorrow is the balancing day. I will tell you how quickly, because today's time is time management. How quickly you can balance, how quickly you can solve a problem, but without sacrificing the understanding part. Yes, I give you 2 minutes time. तुमको जो माने बिगिनर्स मो पाखरे आगदो नथिले दो नहीं थे, इसके लिए पहले मैं दूंगा हाउ टू प्रैक्टिस फॉर्मूला. आई विल गिव यू द चार्ट, different varieties of negative ions, polyatomic negative ions, which you have never heard of, which will be required. Just have a glance, don't try to memorize. Use the table chart to practice formula writing. Then ionic equations, solubility rule, just see the chart. I'll give you everything. And then practice. I give you some practice questions. Ionic equations. And then find the oxidation number. And also I will give you to find out the oxidation number of elements in a chemical reaction equation, underlining the elements which you should seek for. Kar sarla. So, अरे जदि वर्तमान पेशेंस तुम लूज कलनी कि आउ कोठी तुम तुमर अछि ताहले ऋषिकेश नायकर हैला मु समय नौनी तमरो एटी पोटासियम देखो तमे पोटासियम परमैंगनेट रे दीटा आयन अछि K+ and MnO4 minus. MnO4 minus is permanganate ion. You can't split manganese from oxygen. They are together with a covalent bond. So you can't split manganese and oxygen. This is a negative ion. So positive ion, negative ion, they will be separated. And sulfuric acid has two ions, H+ ion and sulfate ion. Don't write 2H+, because we do not know. We have not balanced. It might be 8 or 16 H+. And this is ferrous ion, Fe2+ and SO4 2-. This is in the left side, and the right side K+. Don't write 2K+ and SO4 2-. Mn2+ and SO4 2-. Fe3+, this is ferric. This was ferrous. This is ferric plus sulfate ion plus water, you can't do anything about it. So this is the total ionic equation, as we call TIE, total ionic equation. We don't need this. We have to convert it to net ionic equation. So at first sight, we find sulfate ions are not changed. Sulfate ions are not changed. So you cancel them, all sulfate ions. You might be wondering why I cancelled 3 times. Yes, we have not balanced. Had we balanced, then the number of sulfate ions would have been same. And there is no product which is different from sulfate ion. It might be SO3 minus or SO2 gas. Had it been some different product, then you would have thought of retaining sulfate ion in the left side, not right side, because the product is there containing sulfur. But you don't find any change in sulfate ion. So you cancel everything, and potassium also to be cancelled. So the real change that has occurred is permanganate ion, H plus ion, and Fe2 plus ion. These are the 3 heroes in the battlefield. And India wins the match will be Mn2 plus Fe3 plus water. It is an unbalanced equation. बैलेंसिंग टेक्निक जानने के बाद हमको लगेगा ये बाएं हाथ का खेल. But this is the correct ionic equation, unbalanced ionic equation. जो मुझे लगता है आप लोगों में से कोई सल्फेट आयन लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में, राइट हैंड साइड में लिखा होगा, लेकिन आपको ताज्जुब लगेगा सल्फेट आयन जो राइट हैंड साइड में आप लिखे हैं तो कहां से निकला ये, इसका पेरेंट्स कहां है लेफ्ट साइड में. तो ये नहीं है, ये नामुमकिन है. विदाउट पेरेंट्स एक बच्चा जन्म लेगा और एक बच्चा जन्म हो चुका है, पेरेंट्स नहीं है, ये दोनों नामुमकिन है. सो दिस इज द नेट आयनिक इक्वेशन. लास्ट बट नॉट द लिस्ट, किसका सही था? कहा ठीक थिला हाथ टेकिल. सत्यजित पंडा, गौतम साहू. अच्छा सत्य कहले कोमने गोटे सल्फेट आयन राइट साइड रे लिखि देइतिलो, सत्य कहयो, सत्य कहले महापाप. ओ सॉरी, मिछ कहबे महापाप. कोमने सल्फेट आयन ता राइट हैंड साइड रे गोटे लिखि देइतिलो. अरे दी जन जाका तुम कोन, अरे दैट मींस आप एक ही कॉपी में लिख रहे हो, मुझे दिखाओगे बाद में. मिस्टर पंडा, ओके कोई बात नहीं. इनिशियली एवरीवन कमिट्स मिस्टेक. अच्छा मते कहिलो ए इक्वेशन को देखो, एटा देखो, एठी मैंगनीज रे एठी केते थिला ऑक्सीडेशन नंबर, एठी केते अछि ऑक्सीडेशन नंबर, बाहर करी मते को. मु तुमको टारगेट दे दोची, जे जानि परिबो कहार परिवर्तन हेछि, किसका चेंज हुआ है. तो ऑक्सीडेशन रिडक्शन में एक का घटता है, एक का बढ़ता है ऑक्सीडेशन नंबर. जिसका घटता है इसको बोलते हैं रिडक्शन प्रोसेस. जब इंक्रीज होता है, बढ़ता है, इसको बोलते हैं हम ऑक्सीडेशन प्रोसेस. ऑक्सीडेशन रिडक्शन का न्यू डेफिनेशन है, जिस प्रोसेस में ऑक्सीडेशन नंबर घटता है इसको बोलते हैं रिडक्शन, जिस प्रोसेस में ऑक्सीडेशन नंबर बढ़ता है इसको हम बोलते हैं ऑक्सीडेशन. तो कितना आया? मैंगनीज लेफ्ट साइड में कितना था, राइट साइड में कितना हो गया? कोई बता सकता है क्या? मिस्टर तूफान, मुझे आपका नाम जब मेरे जबान पे आता है तो मुझे एक खौफ सा मुझे करता है, लगता है, क्योंकि तूफान जब आता है ये सारा मुल्क को बर्बाद कर देता है. तो इसीलिए मुझे डर सा लगता है. आई एम स्केयर्ड ऑफ तूफान. मिस्टर पांडा को
सर KMnO4 रे सेडी थिला Mn रो ऑक्सीडेशन नंबर 7 +7 एटी. यस सर 80 +2.
yes काहे की रिधि सिद्धि, because here by X method potassium is +1, it is a alkali metal always fixed. X minus 8 is equal to 0, so it's a neutral molecule, so X is +7. But here it is a monoatomic ion. Sulfate is a monoatomic ion 2 minus, a monoatomic ion 2 minus, so manganese is +2. No X method is required. It's a monoatomic ion, it is +2. The X method करे से ताठू बड़ी बेवकूफ जिंदगी में, दुनिया में कोई नहीं है। एक आयन को लेना पड़ेगा। सल्फेट आयन टुगेदर इज -2, सो मैंगनीज इज +2। सो +7 से +2 ये घटा है, सो इसको बोलते हैं रिडक्शन। हम कल डिस्कशन करेंगे। एंड ऑक्सीडेशन कहाँ हुआ है, कोई बता सकता है किसका बड़ा है? गौतम कहला कि कोई परिव। अच्छा मु तुमको हिंट दे दूची, आयरन रो ऑक्सीडेशन नहीं छी। एठी आयरन रो केते, एठी आयरन रो केते, आप बताइए। इस तरफ आयरन का कितना, उस तरफ आयरन का कितना? अरे ये मोनोएटॉमिक आयन पर जो एक्स मेथड रे करिवो, इससे ज्यादा बेवकूफ ये जिंदगी में, ये धरती में नहीं है। मिस्टर साहू।
सर सेठी थिला 2 एपड़े हैला +3
एटी +2 एटी केते हला
+3
+3 काहे कि रीति सीधी एटा पूरा फेरस तार मोनोएटॉमिक आयन सेही एक्स मेथड रे करबा दरकार नहीं। सल्फेट इज -2, आयरन इज इन +2। फेरस इज ए मोनोएटॉमिक आयन, एटा गुटे मोनोएटॉमिक आयन, आकु जे एक्स मेथड रे करबो से बोका बोकी बेवकूफ। सल्फेट को -2 धरले, 3टा सल्फेट को -6, दीटा आयरन विल शेयर +6, सो गोटा को भारला +3। कौन लाभ कौन अच्छी? 3 तो थिला बिली तो बैलेंस एठी आसी एठी की, सो +3। सो +2 थिला, +2 को +3 को आसिला। दिस इज ऑक्सीडेशन। सो दिस इज कॉल्ड रिडॉक्स रिएक्शन। एक का ऑक्सीडेशन नंबर बढ़ता है, यह आयरन का बढ़ा है, एंड दूसरा का ऑक्सीडेशन नंबर घटता है, यह है रिडक्शन। दोनों इकट्ठा साइमल्टेनियसली होता है। एक होएगा और एक नहीं होएगा, ये नामुमकिन है। अगर कोई इलेक्ट्रॉन लॉस करेगा, दूसरा कोई इलेक्ट्रॉन गेन करेगा, दोनों सिमल्टेनियसली विल बी फाउंड इन ए रिएक्शन कॉल्ड रिडॉक्स रिएक्शन। तो आज का कार्यक्रम हम यही खत्म करते हैं। तो हम 1 घंटे के बाद आप मुझे एक्सपेक्ट करोगे, आपका फाइल मिल जाएगा आपको, क्योंकि मैं थोड़ा सा ब्रेकफास्ट लूंगा। इसके बाद मैं बैठ के आपका जो है स्टडी मटेरियल्स में भेजूंगा, क्लास का फाइल एज वेल एज स्टडी मटेरियल्स इन ए एक्सटेंडेड फॉर्म वेयर solubility rules, everything is written, where you write down, and then some practice questions. I'll tell you how many of each question. Others you will be doing later, and then after few days or maybe tomorrow I will send you, or in the night when you say we have already finished practice, then I will send you the answer, the solution of every question, so that we will not waste our time and make the 5 days program meaningful. Our target is to master over advanced LOC as well as mole concept. इस दोनों को मुट्ठी पर रखना है। तो आज के लिए इतना ही, फिर मिलेंगे, बाय बाय। 8 बजे, अगर 8 बजे आपको सूट नहीं करता तो हम 8:30 कर सकते हैं, अदरवाइज 8 o'clock मैं आ जाऊंगा खुलने के लिए, हमारा दुकान खोलने के लिए मैं आ जाऊंगा। तो आप जो जिसका और कोई डिफरेंट डिस्कशन नहीं होगा, कोई ज्यादा पढ़ाया नहीं जाएगा। जो डिस्कशन आज हुआ अभी तक, इसका कोई डाउट अगर निकला तो आप बेझिझक मुझे पूछ सकते हैं। बाय बाय।
बाय बाय सर।
बाय बाय सर, थैंक यू सर।
गुरुजी नमस्ते। So I will stop video, stop recording.